What was the hardest part of adopting your child? The hardest part of adopting my daughter wasn't the paperwork or the waiting. It was the battle with her birth mother that almost broke me. So I've been wanting to share this for a while because honestly, adoption stories aren't always the sunshine and rainbows that people make them out to be. My husband Paul and I adopted our daughter Aurora 8 years ago when she was just 3. And while she is absolutely the light of our lives, the journey to get there was honestly traumatic in ways I never expected. We started the adoption process after years of fertility treatments that left me emotionally drained and financially broke. Our adoption agency connected us with Janet, a young woman who was 7 months pregnant and looking for a family for her baby. From our first meeting, something felt off. She was distant, asked weird questions about our finances, and seemed more interested in what we could provide materially than what kind of parents we'd be. But we were desperate for a child, so we ignored the red flags. After Aurora was born, everything seemed to go according to plan. Janet signed the initial paperwork, we took Aurora home, and began the post-placement period. For those who don't know how adoption works, there's typically a waiting period after placement before the adoption is finalized. During this time, the birth mother can technically change her mind. 3 weeks in, Janet started calling us constantly. She wanted more pictures, more updates, more money for medical expenses that seemed suspicious. Then she started showing up at our house unannounced. Once at 2 a.m., clearly intoxicated, demanding to hold Aurora. Paul had to threaten to call the police to get her to leave. I was terrified to sleep, constantly checking the doors and windows. Then she disappeared for 2 months. Complete silence. We started to breathe again, thinking maybe she'd moved on. The adoption agency assured us everything was proceeding normally, and we were getting close to our court date for finalization. 2 days before our court date, Janet filed paperwork to revoke her consent. She claimed she was coerced, that she wasn't in her right mind when she signed the papers, that we had manipulated her. None of it was true, but it didn't matter. The court had to investigate, and Aurora stayed with us while they did. What followed was 9 months of pure hell. 9 months of home visits from social workers, court appearances, psychological evaluations, and living in constant fear that someone would take our daughter away. Aurora was confused and started having night terrors. She'd wake up screaming for me, clutching at my clothes, begging me not to leave her. She was only 3, but somehow she knew something was wrong. She'd ask if she had to go away, if the other mommy was going to take her. How do you explain that to a toddler? The worst part wasn't even the legal battle. It was watching our daughter suffer through the uncertainty. One day, Janet showed up at Aurora's preschool and tried to take her. Thank God the school had strict pickup procedures and called me immediately. Aurora was so scared she hid in a closet and wouldn't come out for an hour. I remember sitting on the bathroom floor one night, sobbing silently so Paul and Aurora wouldn't hear me, wondering if we should just give up. Maybe Aurora would be better off without all this drama. Maybe we were being selfish. I honestly considered calling Janet and telling her she could have her daughter back if it meant Aurora wouldn't have to go through any more trauma. The turning point came when Janet missed 3 court appearances in a row. The judge ordered a home study of her living situation and found evidence of drug use. CPS got involved and discovered Janet had 2 other children who had already been removed from her care, something she had hidden from us and the adoption agency. At the final hearing, Janet showed up high. The judge terminated her parental rights on the spot. I should have felt relieved, triumphant even, but all I felt was hollow. This woman, who was clearly struggling with addiction and mental health issues, had just lost her child forever. And while I knew Aurora would have a better life with us, I couldn't help but wonder what circumstances had led Janet to this point. After the court case, we thought it was over. We changed our phone numbers, considered moving, and started therapy for Aurora. But Janet wasn't done. She created multiple social media accounts to harass us, told all her friends we had stolen her baby, and even sent her brother to our house to intimidate us. The hardest moment came when Aurora was 5, 2 years after the adoption was finalized. She came home from kindergarten crying because a woman had approached her at the playground during recess and told her that her real mommy misses her very much. The school security footage confirmed it was Janet. We filed for a restraining order that day.